I'm Alf Hunt, and I was born in Tunbridge Wells on the 14th of November 1919. So I'm now 98 years of age. I left school at the age of 14, which was common in those days, and had various types of employment until I was 20, when the war had started, and I was then called up and joined the Queen's Own Royal West Kent Regiment, in which I served for 6.5 years. Various parts of Great Britain, and then fighting in Algeria, Tunisia, Sicily, Italy, and finishing up with a 1-year army of occupation in Austria. Had many hair-raising experiences and lost many good friends, killed, wounded, taken prisoner. One particular item that I can never forget, never forget, is we had been in the Monte Cassino area of Italy for some weeks, and I was in an armoured carrier with the colonel, the driver, and one other signaller. And I said to the other signaller, "There's room in the carrier behind, there's only the driver in that, so if we toss up a coin, one of us can get out, get back in there, we might have a bit of a rest, because we've had no rest much for a few days." And we tossed the coin, and I was lucky, so I got out of that carrier and went back to the other one where there was just the driver in, a few yards behind. The carrier that I had been in was told to move off, and it only went a few yards and it struck a mine. And the driver was trapped in this blazing armoured carrier. No sign of my fellow signaller at all, gone completely. So we puzzled him, but there was a high hedge, and we climbed up the bank and looked over the hedge, and there we found my colleague, black. Obviously he'd been killed instantly, poor chap. But that was one of the narrow escapes that I had. After that, it was fairly quiet for a week or two, and then we were in another village there, and one day we were attacked by the Germans, and the forward troops and the headquarters all left me. So we were given the command, every man for himself. I was left with my two signallers there with the telephone. The colonel phoned and said, "Corporal Hunt, get the company commander." And I said, "Well, I'm sorry, he's not here, there's nobody here, only us." "Oh dear, well, can you try and get him if it quietens down a bit?" Because we were being machine gunned and grenaded then. And I said, "Yes, okay, sir, I'll do that." I dived out of the slit trench and ran down the hill and found the company commander and said to him, "The colonel's instructions there, you to try and retake this hill as soon as possible." So because I'd gone under so much fire and gone down and got the company commander to come up the hill again, the colonel commended me for the military medal, which I was awarded. Normally, of course, I would have gone to Buckingham Palace to receive it from the King, but I had a message from the King saying, "Awfully sorry, we can't release you." Wasn't only me, there were a few others. "We can't release you." And so the medal was in fact formally presented by a general. We did a few landings in these landing craft, and the first one we did was on the 9th or the 10th of November 1942 in a port about 100 or 200 miles east of Algiers, a port called Bougie. And we got on the landing craft, and we landed in Bougie with no opposition, which surprised us really, but we'd only been on the land a matter of minutes, I think it was, and our ship that we got off was bombed and it was sunk. So all our belongings were on this boat, everything we had, all of our clothes apart from what we stood up in, our shirt and trousers, that's all. And of course we then never had a change of clothing, not even socks, for 6 weeks. And we lived mainly on tins of corned beef and hard biscuits. We had to sleep, just lay on the ground at night and sleep in just what we had on, our shirt and trousers. Fortunately, there was a good supply of rum. Keep us going. Well, the first medal is the military medal, of course, and that is engraved around the side with my name and my number on. The next medal is the medal that everybody got that served in the forces during the war. That is the war medal. It was the war star, rather, it's a star. The next one is the Africa Star, to celebrate the fighting in Africa. And then is the Italy Star, again Italy. And the fifth one is the Victory Medal. So there's a medal at the front, then 3 stars, and then another medal. Yes, in my retirement there, I was a keen gardener, and for a number of years I grew almost every vegetable that we ever ate. Another thing that I was very keen on, to do a lot of walking, but I'm afraid now I've got down to about a mile, and I can't complain at that, I suppose, really. I can, as I say, I can still do about a mile. I enjoy good health, I think, really. As I saw my doctor last week, and he said, "Oh, you look well," and I said, "Yes, I think I'm pretty good, really." But he said, "Your blood pressure's gone up a little bit," but he said, "Oh, not too bad at all." No, I enjoy life too, and I enjoy meeting my various members of my family who are now distributed all around the place, because I've got a son and 2 daughters and 9 grandchildren and 17 great-grandchildren, and I'm told the 18th one is due next April. I thoroughly enjoy life, and we're now, of course, sort of making preliminary plans, I believe, for my 100th, if I go that far. I hope I've always been a happy individual, and one has to look on the bright side all the time, and you get problems on the road, but you can overcome those problems. I've overcome many problems in my life, and I'm sure everybody can if they work hard and live a reasonable life and try not to upset anybody else. I say I'm always looking to the future. I'm still looking to the future now, and how much longer I've got, I don't know. But I've always done that. Look for tomorrow all the time. Don't look back. Okay, things have gone wrong in the past, but that's done. You can't do anything about that. It's gone.